There was a young person who lived in a small village. On the verge of becoming a young adult. This young person decided to spend some time alone, so they decided to go for a walk. So they started down a trail. Familiar to them, and this young person walked alone on this trail outside his village, and walked for hours and hours, just contemplating, what is the meaning of life. After a number of hours, this person found themselves lost. The trail became more narrow and narrow, and they looked one direction and then the other and found that they didn't know which way they had come from, which way they were going, and nothing looked familiar. Now nervous, late in the evening, this young person begins to feel the mosquitoes and the bugs pester them, and the thorns from the jungle trail, as it becomes more narrow and more narrow, begin to be painful and scary. So they continue to dig through the forest as the sun goes down. And eventually, just as things looked so dark, there was a clearing. The trail opened up into a very unfamiliar clearing. This young person looked one direction, and coming charging was an elephant that must, with red eyes, furious, charging directly at this person. So they turned the other direction. And from the other direction came a sorceress with diabolical intentions. And witchcraft. Feeling desperate, not knowing what to do, with terrible danger coming from both directions, person sees in front of them, the far side of the clearing, a small tree. And that tree had one branch about 8 feet up. So this person ran for it. And here come the elephant, and here come the sorceress. And this person reached the tree and leapt into the air. Having leapt into the air, they reached out with their fingers and barely grasped that branch up high. And just when things appeared to be looking up, the branch broke and the person fell, smash onto their back, and tumbled deep into a dank, dark cavern washed out along the roots of the tree. Now, having been scratched up by the thorns, eaten by the insects, terrified and almost killed by the elephant and sorceress, this person finds themselves falling down and tumbling down and barely grasping hold of a root that was hanging within the cavern wall. And it was slippery and the person could barely hold on. And this person looked down, and below them, reaching up toward their feet, were vipers and pythons and venomous snakes, hissing. And when things couldn't look any worse, when the tree branch broke, there was a beehive at the end of it. And the beehive hit the ground at the top of the cavern, and the bees went crazy, stinging and buzzing and stinging and biting this person as they hold on to this root, trying to avoid the vipers below. Desperate. This person screams and cries to anyone or anything that would listen for some reprieve. And at the top of the cavern, the beehive tipped, and a single drop of honey started to fall. And as the person was screaming, in desperation, that drop of honey hit them on the tongue. And it was sweet.